Hey guys, thanks for joining me again on Zen Family Projects. Today, I'm in our 2019 Grand Design Imagine 2800 BH. So this is the camper that we use to go out and do our family trips. It's a bunk house, so it's great for our little girls. And really, it's a great camper. We really like it. Yeah. But of course, like anything in my life, and I'm sure a lot of you guys too, when you get something like this, you want to start making some adjustments, start doing some mods, start adding some things, tweaking some things. And today I'm going to talk about all the stuff that I've added or tweaked to this camper to make it work better for us and just better for camping in general. So this isn't like a how-to video. It's not a top 10 things you should do to your camper or anything like that. It's just the stuff that we've done because we find it really helpful, and you guys might find it helpful too. So stick around and we'll go through it. All right, so I'm going to go around the outside first and show you all the stuff that I've done out there, starting at the front of the camper and moving my way toward the back, going a little bit underneath and doing stuff. I've done stuff all over the place. Then we'll come on inside and I'll show you some of the modifications that I've made in here. So yeah, let's get to it. The first stop on my list is a simple one, but absolutely required out in the desert sun: a front jack cover. This cover looks nice and keeps the sun off my electric jack. It's never blown off or even come close since I put it on about 6 months ago. You can see why it's needed. Secondly, I rotated the actual jack 90 degrees counterclockwise to allow my tailgate to close while I'm hooked up. This is a simple mod that just requires unscrewing the jack housing from the post, tapping the existing hole 90 degrees from the original, and reinstalling the housing in a new location with the tapped hole. Now I can open my tailgate while hooked. Awesome. I also replaced the existing breakaway cable with this coiled cable. The original was pretty worn and just got in the way. The new one takes up less space, looks better, and won't give me metal splinters. Replacing it was as easy as pulling the plug and reinstalling a new one. Storage locks. I'll never understand why every single camper or RV on the road uses the same key for them. That's why I changed mine. I used a barrel key because they're much easier to index with one hand or in the dark. These are a very simple and inexpensive replacement that I highly recommend. When we bought our camper used, one of the 4 stabilizers was mismatched. My guess is that the previous owner forgot to raise one all the way or hit a big rock going down the road and the dealer just threw whatever they had on there to replace it. In any case, the mismatch drove me crazy, so I replaced them all with this new set. They're much sturdier than the stock stabilizers and came with better hardware. They're also not too expensive. The speakers that came outside the camper were blown when we got it. They were pretty cheap. I upgraded them to these bigger power acoustic marine speakers and added the mounting baffles to match the new size. A few screws and some Pro Flex did the trick to mount them up. I think they look great and they definitely sound way better. The kids love music, so this upgrade was a no-brainer. I did an entire video about how I added this rear outdoor shower port to the back of our camper near the water heater. It's very convenient and a simple upgrade to do if you're handy. It adds both hot and cold water with a port that can be turned off, unlike the cold only always on port that came with the camper. Check out that video for more information. At some point in the past, I think the underside of our camper had a leak, because the chloroplast was sagging very badly when we purchased it. Unfortunately, I didn't notice until we got home, but whatever caused the problem doesn't seem to be an issue any longer because I haven't noticed any leaks on any of our trips. It still looked ugly, and the sag was almost touching the axles, so I used some angle iron and some self-tapping metal screws to shore everything up. I painted them black to match the frame and to prevent rust. I also did an entire video about these bumper caps. They're pretty great. Simple to install, easy to open and close, and very secure. They keep your poo hose in line. I got caught with my hose dangling out during our first vacation with the camper, so I wanted to be sure to avoid that embarrassing situation in the future. Now here's an idea I got from another YouTuber. Using ammo cans as storage space. I got these cans from Amazon and also purchased a locking kit for them. Add a simple bar latch and they're not going anywhere. I have one on either side of the camper. On one side, I store my propane hookup accessories for my grill, and on the other, I store my dump hose and fittings so they don't go into my other storage. This is a great, inexpensive mod that gives you some more storage and a place to put your dirty fittings that isn't where you store the rest of your stuff. Thanks to All About RVs for the idea. Link below. Here's a quick one. I added some TPMS sensors to all the wheels. The jury is still out on whether or not these are accurate. I usually get good readings, but sometimes they don't seem to update as fast as I'd like. Still, it's better than nothing and gives me some peace of mind. The old low point drains were just screw plugs on the end of a hose. I decided to add some valves and make them a little easier to deal with. I had the perfect mount point after I added the ammo can back there, so win-win. These backup cameras are a lifesaver. There are two, one for seeing behind me when I'm driving, and one for looking down when I'm backing up. They work pretty well, though the heat in the desert southwest does seem to bother them a bit by adding some fuzziness. Still, they hook up to the pre-existing camera connection for the camper and wirelessly transmit to the receiver mounted in the truck. A great way to keep an eye on things. Now for the inside. Couple here real quick. So I added this push bar to the door. This is real simple. It's just 4 screws and a bar that goes across. You just have to line it up and screw it in. And this way you can open and close this door with this handle. Instead of having to reach in here or break any of this stuff, trying to reach out. This is actually really easy. If the door is all the way open, you just grab here and swing it around. The second thing I've added is these amazing flaps here to the door. The window here so that it's nice and dark for if you drive up underneath a street light or it's like super sunny outside. And this actually folds down so that you can have different portions of the window open. We leave it closed almost all the time because the windows and the doors don't really contribute a whole lot of light, so we just kind of leave it closed. But yeah, so those are super simple to do. Highly recommend both of those. Our girls love their bunk beds. I mean, obviously we got a top and a bottom. Each girl gets their own bed, and they were able to pick out their own sheets and blankets and everything, and they just love it in here. But one of the things that we were concerned about was that they're 3 or 4, depending on when we took the trip, and they move around a lot at night. So we were kind of afraid that maybe they roll out of the bunk and hurt themselves. So a real simple solution to that is to go out to a big box store and get yourself a mega pool noodle. That's the great big ones. And you cut it in half, and now you got half up here and half down here. And what that does is you just put that underneath your mattress protector, and that acts like a bumper and keeps the kids from rolling out in the middle of the night. Super cheap, super quick, super easy. Yeah, it's like the best kind of fun. The second thing that was a problem over here was the girls don't you know, like a lot of kids, they like night lights. They like having a light when they sleep at night. So we wanted to add night lights to both the top and the bottom bunk. And as you can see, I've got these in there. These are super simple. Got them from Amazon. Nothing to them. The girls love them. But the problem was when we got the camper, the bottom bunk had power outlets and the top bunk had USB outlets. And the bottom bunk didn't have USB outlets and the top bunk didn't have power outlets. So it was like one side was USB and one side was power. And you couldn't go out and get the same light for top and bottom because, you know, one was USB and one was power, and there was no way to, like, you know, make either one work. And of course, when you got twins, they both want the same thing the other one has. So we couldn't go out and get one type for one girl and the other type for the other girl because then they might fight over them and not like them. So we want to make sure that they got the same type. So what I did was I actually replaced both of these power outlets. The top one here, I cut a hole for a standard size power outlet, put a box in there, a residential box. They make specific ones that are a little bit shorter. They're designed to tuck back in behind thinner walls, which you have here in an RV. And put a regular power outlet in there, dropped the wire down, did all the connecting, and now I have outlets in both locations that are both 120 and they are USB outlets. So works top and bottom. And I also, I'll take you around here real quick, did the same thing for that outlet there. So now I've got USBs over there and this outlet over here. And I got USBs right there. And I also did the same thing in the bedroom for my wife's side of the bed because her side had a power outlet but no USBs. So she had to have a little wall wart if she wanted to charge her phone. Now, both sides have both. So that's a little bit more complicated if you're not comfortable with electrical work. Maybe that's not a mod you want to do on your own, but I am comfortable with that stuff, so it didn't bother me at all to do it. It's super simple, and now the outlets work way better. Now, normally I wouldn't have the air conditioner going while I'm recording a video. It's just annoying for you, and it's a pain for me to try to edit that out of the final cut. But in this case, the air conditioner is what I want to show you. So I did a mod that I found on the internet to add a baffle inside the air conditioner. And I don't know if you can't see that very well. That's all work that I've done to add a baffle in there. Now, I am not going to go through exactly how I did that or how it works. But I will tell you that the cooling performance is much better. It's much quieter. It's definitely worth the time. It's a couple of hours worth of work to do that mod. I will link in the description to a video that shows you exactly how to do this. The parts are like less than $30 to get it done. And especially here in New Mexico where it's super hot kind of all the time in the summer, it makes a huge, huge difference. So I definitely recommend doing that mod. If you need better air conditioning performance and you've got an air conditioner like pretty much any standard RV air conditioner. So yeah, totally worth it. Another nice addition that I did to the HVAC system in this camper was adding this Coleman Mach thermostat. Now it's it's not super fancy, but it's definitely an upgrade from the one that came with the camper. One of the things that I like about this thermostat is that you can very easily change all the settings just by clicking this one button and turning the dial. And you can do cool and heat at the same time, and you can turn the fan to either auto or on all the time. So what this lets me do is I can say I want to cool to a certain temperature, heat to a certain temperature, and always leave the fan on because our girls and us like a little bit of background noise, kind of like white noise while we're trying to sleep. And with the old model, I couldn't leave the fan on all the time if the AC or the heater kicked off. And there was no way to control all of that independently. So now with this new model, I can do everything. And that was a super simple, like 5-minute install. Take the old one off, put the new one on. Good to go. So here's one that you can barely even call a mod, but I had to put some screw holes in the wall, so maybe it counts. Anyway. That, of course, is a dustbuster plugged into where the TV would normally plug into. We don't watch TV here in the master bedroom, so we put a dustbuster up there. And it works great because, there's a plug right there for it. It mounts right there to the wall. You get a couple of these are actually wire clips that go into like automotive, and I just stuck one on either side there and got a rubber band around it, so that's not going anywhere while we're going down the road. And yeah, helps keep things clean, especially with a couple of kids. Here's another simple one, a towel holder. Man, stop the presses. A towel holder? How cool is that? Yeah, you know, it's super simple, but you know what? It's also super functional and it works great. The towels just clip in there, and see, it's got a little ratchet in there so that this doesn't unroll on you while you're going down the road. You know, it's the simple things, but it's really nice. All right, well, that's most of the stuff that we've done so far. I've been really happy with all the mods that I've done. They've worked out great. I wouldn't change anything. Hopefully you found something interesting in there that maybe you even want to do for your own camper. You know, I'm not done yet. I've got some more stuff that I want to do. One of the things I want to do for sure is put some Eternabond up there on the top. As far as I know, this camper doesn't have any leaks. Obviously, you know, water is the enemy of all campers, but you know, we're here in New Mexico and it doesn't hardly ever rain. So there could be a leak up there that I don't even know about. So Eternabond is like a little tape kind of thing that you put up there and like rubberized. And supposedly it basically eliminates yearly maintenance from the top of your RV roof. We're going to see how that goes. I mean, obviously you still want to go up there once a year and double check it and make sure everything's good and tight. But yeah, so that should be great. I'll definitely do a video on the installation of Eternabond. There's a couple of them out there, but I'll do my take on it because that's what we do. Another thing that I want to do for sure is I want to kind of take that plastic cover off the propane tanks. I don't like that. I don't think it looks nice. And that way I can also move the propane tanks forward a little bit toward the jack, which is going to give me more room in between the tanks and the camper body itself. And that should give me enough room for a toolbox. So I'll put a regular truck toolbox in there. I can put my batteries in there. There should be enough room in there for all of my hitch equipment, you know, the torsion bars and any other kind of hookup stuff that I use while I'm hooking up the camper to the truck. You know, stuff that I need on the outside while I'm doing my hookup and tear down at a campsite right there up there in the front. So that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to doing that. But the most interesting thing, I think, that I'm really looking forward to is I have an idea for a camper or any kind of trailer, really, anti-theft system. That's something that I haven't seen done anywhere else. So it's not a lock. It's not like the kind of lock that you would put on your hitch in the front of the receiver. It's not the kind of lock that you would put through your wheel rims, or even so those X-Chocks there sometimes have locks that can go on there. It's got nothing to do with the jacks or stabilizers or any of that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more sophisticated than what you normally see out there, but that's my kind of stuff, you know. So I'm really looking forward to putting that video out there, trying this system for the first time, and showing you guys the results. Like I said, I have never seen anything like this anywhere on the internet anyway in my research. So it should be really, really interesting. I'm interested to try it out and see how it goes. So stay tuned for that for sure. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something, and we will see you next time.